All right, well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery here. It's a beautiful Thursday morning, January 25th, 2024. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at this time, 8 o'clock Central, to talk about strategies, tips, techniques, share success stories, and support each of you. So today we're going to have more of an open forum. So rather than a structured discussion, we're going to talk about what you want to talk about. And we could start with if there's anything, as I'm sharing the screen here, that you don't understand what we do or how we do it or why we do it, this would be a great time to discuss it as a group. So you could type in your questions or even comments or concerns into the Q&A box. It's like a chat box of Zoom. We want you to understand and be comfortable and confident in what we do. If any of you did not get paid yesterday, because you remember our concept is every day should be payday if you're one of our branch offices. So if you did not get paid yesterday, we need to discuss what we need to do better to help you, because you're smart, you're motivated. I'll accept responsibility. If you did not get paid yesterday, it's my fault, not your fault. So let's figure out what we need to do different today to make sure that you get paid today. So we have a big group on today, which is great. The floor is yours. So go ahead and type into the Q&A box what you need help with, whether it be understanding what we do, how we do it, why we do it. What is it that you need to know? Let's start with Herman. Herman, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Herman is one of our newest branch offices. He came on, I believe, last week. So Herman, could you text into the Q&A, what is it that we need to do for you so today you're able to get paid? Because that's the goal for every one of you, for you, Andrew, and Anthony, and Ben, and Bernard, Charles, David, Eric, Herman, Jeanette, Jenny, Ken, Larry, Madison, Pauline, Pearlie, Original, Celino, Terrence, Tolly, Varney. We have over 320 of you on. My job is to make sure that you get paid today. And if you didn't get paid yesterday, something's broken, because there are millions of entrepreneurs out there that want to need funding, but they don't have a fundable business. So I need to know what we need to do better to help you. Herman, can you go ahead and type into the Q&A, what is something that you need help with so you can enroll your first client as a new branch today? Go ahead and type that in, Herman, and we'll address that. Jenny, you and I have had the opportunity to visit recently. You're a newer branch, but not brand new, and you've enrolled a client or two. Jenny, what do we need to do to help you today enroll at least one more client to make sure today is payday? You can go ahead and type that in. Pearlie, you're both a client and a distribution partner. Unless I'm mistaken, you've not been paid yet. That's a shame. That's a reflection of us, not you. So Pearlie, can you type into the Q&A? It's like a chat box, what you need help with. What is it that you need from us to make sure that you're paid today? So today is what we call open forum. We want to address what's on your mind. What is it that you need? And again, if you didn't get paid yesterday, we've got a problem that we want to fix today. All right, Jenny says she has 2 clients enrolling today. Well, that is great. And I do realize sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get comfortable and build your pipeline. So that's outstanding, Jenny. So Jenny gets a pass. She's enrolling 2 clients today. So great job, Jenny. Let's see here. Celino's asking about the buy now, pay later. So that's great. That's a great discussion. So when clients enroll in the startup program, there's 2 ways that it can be structured. The normal way is that they enroll, the grant covers half, and then they pay you the other half, which is $2,500. So that's the way it normally works, but that wasn't Celino's question. Celino's question is, talk a little bit about the other way. So the other way we call buy now, pay later. We work with a program called Sweet Pay. And with Sweet Pay, the client will pay you $500 as a down payment instead of the full $2,500. With the $500 down payment, Sweet Pay sets up with 0% interest a net 30 account, which is great. So that gives that entrepreneur 30 days to be able to pay for the setup fee. So we will work with them during that 30 days to raise the money that they apparently didn't have when they first enrolled. Otherwise, they would have paid you the $2,500, not just the $500. We have a number of different ways that we can help the client raise that money. So let's talk about that. One way is we can help them liquidate the quick cash. So that's one option. A second is they could become a referral partner of yours, couldn't they? So let's say they come to the table and whatever's going on in their world, they're relatively insolvent. They don't have enough money to pay you the $2,500, so they only pay you $500. Well, then empower them to go out and teach and do community outreach for you and do some sort of revenue share with them. So that would be another option. But ultimately, remember, Celino and everyone else, these are entrepreneurs, right? These are people that have a revenue-based mindset. They offer goods or services to customers for money. And so net 30 terms are really quite common. And so what Sweet Pay is doing is kind of kicking that can down the road, giving them 30 days to pay, 0% interest. And during that time, we're still providing all these services. So there's a number of different ways that we can help them raise the money during that 30-day process, but that's the answer to your question, Celino. The buy now, pay later is set up as a net 30. Now, let's say they don't want a net 30. Let's say that they want longer financing terms. Well, then they could come down here and apply for financing offers. When they do this, Celino, we actually work with about 40 different lenders that believe in our model, that believe in our concept, that share a mission in helping start and grow small businesses. And so then we could look for other financing offers now, even though we've not built out their business yet. So that would be another option as well. Great question. Thank you for that. All right, so David says the only limit is myself and the number of businesses or entrepreneurs I contact and build a relationship with. Yeah, so that's true. And David and I have a similar belief that each of you that are branches, you or someone on your team is going to need to talk to people. This isn't like signing up and buying a t-shirt off of Amazon, right? They're going to want to talk to someone. So you are the owner, you're the CEO, you're the president, you're the executive director, whatever title you want to assume of your branch. But it may make sense that you have reps or agents or others that help with the outreach. Think about any successful business. They have people beyond just the owner of the business that's involved. And you could pay those people 1099 or W-2. You could pay them a salary. You could pay them hourly or just based on results. But I do think it makes sense, as David is doing. You want to have, and you call it a sales organization if you want. I know we don't sell, we educate and all that. But the bottom line is, yeah, most businesses have more than just one person involved. And so David's point is, most prospects want to talk to you before they sign up. I believe that's true. Now, I think the way to generate some economies of scale is, as we talked about, you could teach the 10 mistake workshop. That allows for interaction. You could teach that in person or online, and that allows for that interaction. And then, as we talked about yesterday, once you've done that, then we recommend taking them through the comparison grid, which is trained here. And by doing that, about 85 to 87% of the people will enroll. But David's point is there's only so much time in the day. And I would agree with David. The way to respond to that is to add capacity. And you can hire people or contract with people to be able to reach out to more prospects. Okay, let's see. Ken asks, please explain the options a client has in order to meet the capacity of an 80,000 startup loan. Okay. So I guess what you may have to elaborate on that. So I think, Ken, what you're doing is giving me an example. If someone wanted 80,000 for a startup loan, what would it take? Well, what it would take is this, because that's what we do, Ken. We help them have a credible address, help them be in good standing with Secretary of State, good standing with the IRS, strong business credit profile, strong balance sheet. So in general, this is the answer of what it takes to have a fundable business, regardless of other mitigating circumstances. All right. Terrence says he got a new lead recently from an ad he posted. Yes, what are the best questions to ask that will close the account? Well, again, as we talked about yesterday, Terrence, our recommended approach is to educate the prospect first. You can use this recording, you can create your own version, you can teach it live, you can teach it in person, but if we have an educated prospect, we're much more likely to have a satisfied client and they're more likely to enroll. And then, just as I mentioned afterwards, then take them through the comparison document, which I realize when I circle this, that doesn't mean much. But if you come over to chapmanloanprogram.org and watch this prior training, it walks you through the comparison sheet. I think this was step one, which is teaching general concepts. This, applying it to their circumstance, is going to allow you to close approximately 9 out of 10 prospects, regardless of where they're at or their capital raise needs. All right, Toyley says, I have a filled out application, but I don't know how to send it to you. Okay, well, no worries. So we can obviously follow up with you afterwards, but as a branch, we provide you all with editable documents. So you have an editable version of the proposal, you have an editable version of the comparison sheet, you have an editable version of the agreement, the client agreement, editable version of the press release, editable version of the PowerPoint, and so forth. So each of you should take that editable version of the agreement, take our information off, put your information on. Most of you are using like DocuSign or Adobe to be able to get a client under contract. And then you collect the money from them, whether it be the $2,500, which again, the program is $5,000, the grant covers half, and then the participant pays you the other half, $2,500. But the bottom line is, once you have a client under agreement, we should have set up a Dropbox folder for you. If this is your first client, then maybe it's time now for us to get that Dropbox set up. But rather than emailing or other means of sending us the client agreement so we can go implement, normally you would provide it in your Dropbox. So what I'll do is I'll follow up with you and make sure you have that. So we'll do that after the call today. Anthony asked about success stories. Yes, that is right here. That's on the page. Pearlie says, I'm in the process of completing my business setup. Needs to build her organization. Yeah. And it's okay. Some of you are most comfortable doing everything yourself. You just want to be a one-person show. And if that's what you want, then that's okay. You have that right to do it that way. But kind of going back to what David said, you're not going to reach your potential by being a one-person show. So it's just all about what are your goals, right? How much money do you want to make? How many clients do you need to enroll to make that money? And what type of staffing do you need? So it's okay if you want to go it alone. It's okay if you want to build an organization. In either case, it's up to you, your preferences, and basically your skills. But I want to go back and I guess I want to be accountable. So I'm going to ask a few of you that I believe did not get paid yesterday, why? And then if you can respond why, we'll problem solve. So I'm not calling you out because it's your failure. It's obviously my failure because you're smart, you're motivated. Let's start with you, Larry. Larry Johnson, thank you for joining. You've been on the Zooms most mornings. You're smart, you're motivated. You didn't make any money yesterday from our program. I'm sure you're making lots of money doing other things. So, Larry Johnson, what is it we need to do different today so you're paid today? That's my question for you. Larry Johnson, what do we need to do today so you're paid today? Herman People, same thing. I asked you earlier, you haven't responded. So Herman, it's so important that you all come and you're prepared to interact. So Herman, thank you so much for being both a client and a distribution partner. What have we not done, or what do we need to do better or differently, Herman, so you get paid today? As a branch office, we want you to get paid today. You didn't get paid yesterday from the best of our awareness. What do we need to do? And this is true for any of you that look at your bank account and you didn't get paid yesterday. Take a moment, type into the Q&A of Zoom. It's like a chat box. What we need to do better for you today. We want every one of you to be paid today. Andrew Martinez, thank you so much for being on the Zoom. Andrew, I don't believe that you got paid yesterday. So can you type into the Q&A what you need from us? We need to do a better job, Andrew. If you're not getting paid every day, it's our failure, not your failure. Can you please state what we need to do? Ben, thank you so much. Ben Lysenby, love your name. Ben, what do we need to do to make sure you're paid today? So you see the pattern. I'm asking each of you to type into Q&A what we need to do differently or better, what needs to happen so you're paid today. Because that's the model. See, what we've learned is that people that dabble in things are rarely proficient. So we want on a daily basis, you're getting paid. It's not a mandate, not a requirement, but on a daily basis. That's what we need to be doing, is providing you the training, the support, the resources. So looking for feedback. Mr. Ward, thank you for joining us. I tried to reach you earlier this week. Couldn't reach you. I believe you and I are scheduled later today. Mr. Ward, what do you need today? Mr. Ward, what do you need today so you can enroll a client and get paid today? Now, if none of you can come up with any answers, then I guess the burden moves from me to you then, doesn't it? But I'm asking. Oh, Ben says he hasn't signed up yet. Okay, so Ben, what you can do is scroll down. So on chapmanloanprogram.org, if you're not a current distribution partner, fill this out. You'll see the click here. Then what will happen is then we will onboard you, get you the resources, and support you. So sorry, Ben, didn't mean to throw you out there when you're not part of the team. But if you want to be a distribution partner, here's where you do it. But I'm still waiting for a few of you. Okay, so Ken says he needs a different method of creating leads. Fair enough. So one of the main ways that we've recommended of generating leads, if you don't have your own sphere of influence or own ideas, is through BNI. So Ken, have you gone to a BNI meeting? And this is true for any of you that didn't make a sale yesterday, I guess, but specifically Ken, have you gone to a BNI meeting yet? BNI, we had a separate training on. It's a networking group. We don't have any financial interest in. We don't get kickbacks from them. But it puts you in a room. Well, there's 3 types of BNI networking meetings: in person, online, or hybrid. But rather it's in a literal room or a virtual room. You're interfacing with professionals like CPAs, like bankers, like business coaches. And that's the best place to get referrals. If any of you just don't have your own competence or confidence in developing leads, then BNI is the easiest way. You plug and play. You find a local chapter, follow their steps, and you'll get leads. You will get leads. You can join BNI, but they'll allow you to attend any meeting or a local chapter twice, so you can feel it out. But any of you that are struggling, this is the golden grail. Now, in general, what we talk about is we need to teach, because we don't need to sell anyone. We need to teach. If we teach, we have about an 85 to 87% chance that the individual will enroll. But of course, that makes the assumption you have someone to teach. So how do you get people to teach? Outreach, right? We've talked about going to churches and chambers, going to business organizations, going to VOTEC schools, massage therapy schools, welding schools, truck driving schools. But the bottom line would be BNI is the most consistent way. That's kind of plug and play. And then secondarily, teach. Now let's say you're not really comfortable. Let's say Larry says, I'm struggling because I'm not really comfortable teaching people. Then have someone on your team that is comfortable teaching, right? Okay, so that answered Ken's question, hopefully. The two primary ways that we promote for generating leads, one of which is BNI, the other is teaching. Teaching what? Teaching this PowerPoint. And you can go listen to it right here. You should have the editable PowerPoint. If you don't have it, email us and we'll get it to you. Teach in person, teach online, teach through libraries, churches, chambers. It works remarkably well. Okay. Eric says he needs to do a better job presenting to prospects that he's not in person with. Yeah. And so again, it comes back, Eric, to what I said. I think if you start scheduling these workshops, host what we call the 10 mistake workshop, and you host it on Zoom, maybe even on a daily basis, every day at 7 p.m. local time, for example, and make that commitment. Then you start creating awareness, driving people to it. Then after they've attended your workshop, then walk them through the comparison sheet, which this describes here. And again, we would expect you to enroll about 9 out of 10 of them. Celino asked about timing, and that's a good point. So when clients enroll in, when they enroll in the startup funding package with you, right? So as a branch, they're signing your contract with you, and they're paying you either the $2,500 or $500 down with the buy now, pay later. Selena, I'll kind of paraphrase, is saying, well, why don't we go get them funding first? Well, they don't have a fundable business, because if they had a fundable business, they wouldn't be enrolling in it. So what are we left to do? Well, we could try to go get them a personal loan, but when we try to go get them personal loans, I don't know that that's really what people want. Sometimes the interest rate's not that attractive. So our real goal is to create a fundable business, but they need to pay you so we can accomplish that. So most people have $2,500, or they can put it on a credit card. But if they don't, they can pay you $500 down. Theoretically, you're correct, Selena, though. You could have people go here first and apply for financing if you wish. Just understand this financing is going to most likely be a personal loan, not a business loan, because we've not yet built out a fundable business. And is that really what they want? But yeah, we can certainly go get people personal loans. We've seen, well, the average person will get 6 to 8 cash financing offers, and though they could take one of those offers or multiple. We've seen people get well over $100,000. We call this first tranche financing. So you're theoretically right. If you want to drive people here first, you could do that. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could do that. Okay, again, we've got a big group today. My job is contingent upon you making money, because if you don't make money, then we're not helping people, and you won't hang around. I understand. As a branch office, on just the upfront, you should be making at least $30,000 a month. And I realize it's not get rich. You all are probably making a lot more than that and whatever else you're doing. But we believe if we can get you at least $30,000 per month, you'll stick around. Now, there's a lot more money to be made on the back end as clients get funded and you get their performance fee. But I need to make sure that you make 30,000 this month in January. Now we're almost out of days, so pretty soon we're going to start looking at February. But rather than worrying about 30,000 in a month, let's just worry about today. What do we need to do to get you either 2,500 today, or worst case scenario, 500 today? That's what we need to do. Let's break it down into itty bitty pieces, because if we can just enroll one client today, good things will happen. That's really all that we need to worry about right now, is how do I enroll one new client today? And if you don't know how to enroll one new client today, that's what we're trying to address here. It's my job to help you, but it's your job to let me know what help you need. Ken's asking about loan size. So it varies tremendously, because this is the concept of building a fundable business, but we need to build a fundable business based upon what the client wants to do. So you take Ernest Harris, who's not on today. He sometimes comes on late. We're doing the $5 million apartment complex with him. So the answer is 5 million. I was talking to Petralis, I believe is his name. That's one of Terrence's clients. Petralis, and I'm probably butchering that name, is Greek. He needs 3.5 million. So it varies. Some people want 40,000, right? So we need to build a fundable business. So this is the same no matter if they want a little or a lot. It doesn't matter if they want to start a church or a whorehouse. The point is the industry doesn't matter. This is the construct of a fundable business. Now, when we get ready to go to funding, it does matter. We need to identify the uses of funds. How much money do they want? What are they going to use it for? And that's going to influence the loan package and where we go to funding. But it's about the client and what the client wants and what the client needs. And of course, if they're not pursuing grant money, if they're pursuing loan money, then they're going to have to pay it back, right? So we need to make sure that their business is going to be able to support it. Because you'll have once in a while people come to you and say, oh, I want $5 million. Well, great. Can you afford paying $5 million back? Oh, no. Well, we either need to pivot over to grants, or we probably need to lower the loan amount, because the concept of a loan, of course, is paying it back. So for today, is there anything that I need to do for you today so you can go enroll a client? When each of you enrolled as a distribution partner, we both made promises. We made promises to train, to support, to assist you. And you need to hold me accountable to do that. From your perspective, you promised after a 30-day grace period to be active, to be an active participant. And we're asking you to do that. The expectation is that you'll do that. That's the promise that you made. And if you need help being active and enrolling clients, you've got to let us know. But this is a two-way street, right? So we're here to train, to support, and assist you, but you need to apply for that. All right, so Jeanette says she needs a referral link with her information. Okay, so Jeanette, as a branch, you should have an editable version of your client agreement. And then you're going to load that into DocuSign or Adobe, whatever e-signature software you want. That's where the link comes from. And then that's the link that you send to the prospect. You'll want to be on the phone with them when you send them the link, and you'll want to stay on the phone with them, Jeanette, as they're completing it. So the link to the agreement that you're asking for comes out of Adobe, or comes out of DocuSign, or it comes out of FormStack. So for instance, let me click this. This is going to pop up our link, if you will, and this is how clients enroll on our site, right? I just clicked this button, or this hyperlink here, and it opens up this. And so we use what's called FormStack. So the link you're asking for, Jeanette, comes from the e-signature software that you're using: Adobe, DocuSign, FormStack, JotForm, what have you. All right, David asked an interesting question. What is the average age of a client? I don't know. I don't know that we track that. I'm sure we could run a report, but I don't think age or gender or race or religion is an important predictor. I think it's the important predictor is, are they educated? Have you taught them what it takes to be a fundable business? Have you gone through the comparison document with them to show them that they have options? And almost we try to kind of talk them out of enrolling at this point. We say, hey, we know you have options. We're just one option. Let me show you how our option works and let's compare it to your other options. So I don't know the answer to your question, David, of the average age, but I don't know that that's important. I think what's important is it an educated prospect? And you control that. So you can teach this in person or online. You can just use this version if you want, that's ready to click on and use. But somehow I believe you all need to incorporate financial literacy into the process, because if they're not educated, they're going to say, well, I don't know about all this stuff. I don't want any of this. I just want funding. I just want funding. But what do you and I know? You need to have a fundable business, and that's what we create. All right, so I guess the burden's back on you. We've answered literally every question or responded to every comment that came in today. Today's your day. Go enroll one client. Get paid today. As Thomas Kearns likes to say, every day is payday, should be payday if you're a branch office. If there's something that's missing that you need from us, then let us know. You have our phone number. You have our email. We should be scheduling live, or should be scheduling weekly one-on-ones. We have these live group sessions daily. But we need you to perform like you promised, and we need you to hold us accountable to perform and do what we promised. All right, we'll see you back tomorrow morning. Have a great day. Let's get a client enrolled today. Bye-bye.